But that really just comes down to the devs like vision on like hero validity. It's like they're gonna scale these heroes if they're printing 12 plus a set, and we're gonna have 48 to 60 heroes in the next two sets, but only still 5 or 6 are gonna be like quote unquote competitively viable. Then maybe that's just their vision for the game, and that's fine. And some people like that, and some people don't. But I think I've been hypercritical of really just the play patterns that purple creates. And I think that is more so what I care about. Whether it's exactly Draven or Ezreal or Sivir, I think is highly tertiary to my point of just, I think as we've seen today, Fiora is trying to avoid combat in like her own way. Aurora avoids combat in its own way. The Rat avoids it in its own way. And then Draven's like, please don't avoid me.
Yeah,
you know? And
Fiora
I think
having to avoid combat, I think, is a feel bad.
It's like you avoid combat until you don't, which is like fine. There's like a strategy to that. What it feels like almost all the viable strategies are to just like delay core tenet of the game as long as you can. It seems, I don't know, interesting.
That's part of my point, right? Like, why? If I want to play Fiora, I think what I want to do is I want to go have combats as like the power fantasy of playing Fiora, the fun factor of like being in these colors, like everything about Fiora, you want to be going and taking combats. Like that is like part like why you would select this deck. And you feel like because of purple in the current meta, you like literally can. Like, and you have to build your deck to be able to not, which is definitely something that's a little bit less exciting, right?
I thought we were getting Irelia'd, but unlucky.
I thought so too, but we got a
no.
Draven
So
here.
you're not believing it. So what is actually happening is they're showing us the mirror now because all the other matches are Draven versus Irelia, Fiora, and Ezreal. So they're all gonna progress. So this is the only time. This is the only time we're gonna see this.
This may have been picked because maybe this players have been going the longest amount of time. This is a non-zero chance that this is the reason that this was the selected match.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm super excited to see this. The normal Draven versus the non-normal Draven.
Yeah, we were just discussing this, which one actually can and will come out on top, and obviously the dice roll, I'm sure, will influence a lot of this. But
and the theory in China is that mid-range is better. Like the widespread theory in China, they tend to think that mid-range is better than Miracle. So. Usually where the edge comes through is all the extra combat tricks allow you to basically take back all the value that is generated by the deck just dumping everything onto the board, because you can use your like Draven and Axe and some of these combos to clean up some free trades and basically just invalidate the fact that more might was played on the other side.
Yeah, I do wonder. We see very few copies of some of these other meta decks, like Fiora and Ezreal, generally showing up to the tournament and then generally making it to day 2. But then they seem to always be making it to top 8, at least 2 tournaments in a row. And I do wonder if it's like a very small, the same and very small like subset of players who are doing this, or like testing groups. Maybe, I know, because not everybody can necessarily get in, or like if it really is like a mixture of like bracket luck and things like that, not to take anything away from players, because it is interesting that we see like a Fiora and a Irelia, which has decent representation for what it's worth, and even Ezreal now like hitting this top 16 and top 8 2 weeks in a row, but their representation doesn't necessarily match. And it's just like these are very hard decks that very few like testing groups have been able to like figure out and have the right heuristics, or like what is it? Because they're obviously up there. We're watching them win games sometimes in very convincing fashions. I wonder why we do see less of them. Like,
I think a lot of it is that it is harder. I think that also it's a lot easier to look at the established thing that everyone else figured out for you, and it's just like, yeah, just jam Draven. That deck's pretty good.
Yeah.
But no, I think the decks are hard, and like they definitely do need to like find lines and play patterns that maybe are not necessarily like as straightforwardly obvious. And we saw it in the Fiora, right? Like all these Fiora puzzles where it's like, okay, you have to figure out how to break the 40 might board, and like it's like, oh well.
Sam, I see your L3. You have put the same Draven both times. Deck 'em down Draven is just the better name for Miracle Draven. So they're not playing versus each other. Not playing versus himself. This is just mid-range Draven versus Deck 'em down Draven.
No.
Are we Nocturne believers in this, by the way?
In China they usually like it in this deck.
Ooh, Treasure
so
Hunter,
I would
Shovel,
not be
and
surprised.
Seal. And we put
There's
Shovel
Ezreal in
and Seal
hand,
on
you take
bottom?
Seal, right? Wait, oh, no 2-drop? just valuing actually playing a card.
Yeah. So deciding not to take the seal or the shovel is, I mean,
I mean, if you're just looking for one pop-off turn as the miracle deck, I guess it like kind of makes sense to do the treasure hunter because you can get your point, you know, get your zone warrens trigger or Targons, whichever one your opponent lets you get, and then you make the gold. Because you're probably not going off this turn. You're probably looking to go off the turn after or the turn after that. So it's like your seal probably only gets you at most 2 value, whereas this one's like a unit that's going to get you essentially a mini seal in the gold. So I can like kind of understand it.
I don't hate it. The issue is this Draven's going to be developed in base, and like if you push up, you're giving them a card. And perhaps more importantly, it's not that I don't like grabbing Treasure Hunter there. It's just, you know, for all the shit that I've given Draven players, that's probably a decision I would think about for like 10, 15 seconds. Because like the shovel's oftentimes a one of, right? We just like threw that shit to the bottom. We didn't give a fuck.
No, that part I do agree with that. With the looking at the density of units, and it looks like we did just draw the frog, the merchant. So maybe we really just did want to play a 2-drop. And if we're just going to develop once more, like we can hold up off and things like that. So maybe the Draven has to think twice or commit something before they go in on it.
We're in a lot of 2-drops here.
Yeah, we're now seem to be flooding with them because we've discarded a frog and I think we drew another one. Huh. Okay.
No, we drew fan. We drew Raven's fan.
Okay.
Yeah, this hold is a little bit suspect in the midrange variant for sure.
Weird.
I feel like just a spinning axe is like always winning here.
Straight losing to like everything.
Yeah, spinning axe, fourth, rebuke. Just the cards in your hand alone are just.
Yeah,
I mean, there's like 100 cards.
I don't know what you could be putting your opponent on to think about with holding 1 mana open. It's not much. Obviously, you could pay a red and do that. But yeah, that's a very strange lead.
Yeah.
Especially because the defender has to pay the rune first, so you're just like getting a free rune off of them. This actually, yeah. I don't love that we just decided to seed this.
Yeah. I like Foth is infinitely better. Rebuke is fine when you're paying a gold for 1/2 of it. Just essentially what's going to happen here.
Yeah, but Axe is just like
or an Axe
crushing. Yeah, Axe is way better.
Yeah, I'd pick up my cards personally, but we'll see.
Yeah, I don't love the way that we played this game.
Well, sometimes this mirror is decided by the first combat, and we've had the first combat, and it feels pretty good for the mid-range side.
Yeah, opting into that combat, I think there's been a cascade of decisions made here.
See, you guys aren't just counting. He's actually playing for the Rasa, so he's making sure his units die so that he can get the Rasas
I mean, it's possible. I just think like even if we played 3 Rasas next turn, we would be down 5-1, and our opponent could back off. It's just like very interesting.
Yeah, this is really bad. Because like what they're gonna go? Do they have a?
They have a Mind Splitter. I think you just like.
Do they get to play like fan hopeful?
If they can hit a 2-drop here, it would be probably the best thing they could hit off the stack deck. Why don't we just draw a card? Wait, what?
Oh, we discard.
This is
okay, that was waiting off the Zon. Okay, I saw a stack deck and I just saw draw top card in my deck. I'm like, well, that's not really how the card works. But if that's what you want, it's all you.
Honestly, the Kaiso is not too bad of a pull. I feel like you can actually just back row that if you want, or you play hopeful, hold up 2 runes. But I don't know that you need to hold up 2 runes this turn. I think you're pretty safe, just like chilling with Draven with an axe there.
I mean, this guy has to pull so much accelerate that he just does not have. I'd Kaisa pass. You can curve out better the turn after, and then all you gotta do is go down 5-1. Assuming your opponent plays a unit, you throw in a treasure hunter, go to 6, or you'll go to 5. Sorry, next turn. But after that, you can use the treasure hunter to steal the point. Just keep building your back line.
Yeah, and a certain amount of this is informed by your opponent winning the die roll, but at the same time, I feel like we've sort of opted into some unfriendly.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of just went into onboard. My opponent removes a rune and wins the combat, assuming they had an 8 castable card in hand.
And this is kind of the Draven thing, right? Where people talk about, you just kind of you push up your shit at the wrong time, and then suddenly Draven's like super far ahead. I feel like it's a pretty common play pattern, like especially among like the early days of playing against Draven. So
Yep.
kind of surprised that this is how it's going down.
It's just one of those things, like, as we see with this deck, you are already setting up and putting yourself on the back foot by, like, the strict, like, just necessity of how the deck works, because you're trying to storm off. And then to put yourself even further behind by getting into a combat that you know doesn't matter. Like, you're clearly not winning in 2 turns or 3 turns or probably even 4 with a deck like this. So it's like, why even try to, like, accelerate that clock and just lose a bunch?
And
Sorry,
Bushwhack
second Ezreal in hand.
Bushwhack's a good draw. I don't love that we played a call shot this turn.
It's always seal here, right?
Well, you have second Ezreal in hand, so yeah, it's probably got to be seal. You've already sent a seal to the bottom, so
Yeah.
you're gonna need it at this point.
Yeah, my issue here is like, I don't know if we're allowed to like full pop off this turn. I think
No,
that like
we cannot.
using the rune and a called shot that could have been like adding to our storm counter seems really bad. Like if we're gonna use the rune anyway, might as well just like play second Ezreal, say Falling Star isn't real, and then like set up for a massive turn next turn. But
At best,
Yeah.
we're like stack decking, maybe sealing, and getting like a ram if we're lucky for 1 mana.
yeah,
And
there's a
then
ram.
I think
Yeah.
that's like the best
Holy
this turn
fuck.
shows.
we said
Okay.
nah, fuck that
Okay,
shit.
he's
Ram
gonna
at the
second.
bottom.
He's gonna try and second cycle it, but I don't think he has time. Like he's gonna draw a lot here. He has Ezreal into the heap. But yeah, I don't think he has time to make the second cycle and actually like fully pop off. But he did bottom a Rasa and a Ram.
Yeah.
So he's got 2 looks towards the bottom of the deck that are going to be important for the big turn, and yeah, I just don't think there's going to be time. I think that's the major issue.
Yeah, we're like playing for a like turn 6 that's never gonna come. Like we've thrown so many of our tools to the bottom, and I don't think we're gonna make it far enough through unless we're like, shit. If we're drawing like double called shot next turn, like maybe, but even then we have like no runes. I don't know on this one.
I mean, there's going to be a lot drawn, right? The heap is in hand. You have Ezreal heap in hand, so that's already 3. It's 4 draws. Then if you're seeing any of these other card draw, you can even fizz to draw more if you want to in this spot.
Yeah.
Um.
We're like relatively limited on the amount of mana we have. We go up to 7,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and like 7, like if we're like in the world where we try and like double ram, like we go Ezreal, called shot, bushwhack, Rasa, ram, like maybe, but it's like, I don't know. I feel like that call shot we probably need to
Yeah,
save.
I'm curious what this like the mid-range Draven is thinking about at this point. I feel like if I'm staring at my board, it's like, okay, my opponent's doing nothing. I'm just at 4. Like I can go to 5 this turn. You can draw a card with Kaisa if you really need to, but I just feel like you're playing for 2 turns from now. I would just play the most might I can and take everything off the battlefield. Like this is fine, because running the 1/1 up there gets you a point, and then like it just dies to Ezreal. So
Yeah,
this.
I don't know if I love like leaving a unit stranded. Oh, just kidding. Fucking
Yeah.
Chum.
yeah.
Oh,
I don't-
fuck.
Oh, you take Ezreal, right? I mean, it's
Yeah.
just
Yeah, with this play, I don't mind it. Even just putting the Kaisa up isn't bad because on board they can't really kill it because they only have 4 themselves. I mean, obviously they can commit stuff, but
Yeah, I mean they have 5 themselves, so like in the world where they need to like draw 1 more, like they could just throw stuff in and crash it, and like
Yep.
you're forced to. It is peak, so like you get to hold up interaction, but you know, maybe it's fine because it's peak.
But yeah, throwing the 11 here just makes it even easier. But I do agree this is just the best play. Like, just put out as much might as you can because they're most likely building a board next turn, but they're probably not putting it on battlefield. So you're essentially getting to go to 6 or 7 free at this rate.
Yeah, I think you're right though. Like you know, you definitely have to rip the Ezreal. Yeah. I mean, there's a world where like bushwhack is like maybe the rip, but like because they have the fizz in hand, if they really want to bushwhack, they can do it anyway. But I think it's Ezreal.
It'll be an expensive bushwhack. They didn't want to do it, but I think Ezreal's still probably the play.
Yeah.
I mean, if they, yeah, the issue is we took fucking scrap heap. Like I don't know how on earth we're gonna use the scrap heap. If
Yeah,
we
I
lose
mean-
Ezreal.
yeah. The Ezreal is like always. It's an easy take. I mean, it makes sense
Yeah.
to at least like think what your opponent's turns can even be, especially
Look
because he saw
like,
the
yeah.
fizz, so he wanted to see. He really wanted to see like what was the cards in the bin, like what is fizz even doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. Because now it's like you keep the Draven there. I feel like you shouldn't, but then also you know they have a scrap heap, so maybe you don't want them to draw 2 cards for free.
Yeah.
Then at
issue
the same
is-
time, you saw Bushwhack, don't want to get blown out.
Yeah, you're like priced into leaving it there because you don't want to give them the free cycle. Even if they didn't have a scrap heap, like if you assume that next turn is their storm turn, you really don't want to give them the chance to like cycle to a more useful card.
Right.
So like giving them Zon Warrens would be really rough. Okay.
You have a Red Bouquet and a Fight or Flight and another Mind Splitter next turn, a Bryn, and then a Darius. But yeah, it's a very risky play to do this because I feel like you're very safe just staying at 4, going to 5, building your backline, and just like playing Mind Splitters the next 2 turns. I play Mind Splitter next turn, take something, go to 6 with as little as you can, and then slam Bryn plus 4 mana next turn. But this is just as good. It's just dies to the quote-unquote miracle
he scooped
draw,
it.
but,
Yeah, I was actually thinking this might just be a scoop. Like losing the Ezreal there, you just kind of like don't have any plays. And then if it wasn't for the 2 runes coming out, you maybe have like a bushwhack play here, try and do something. But because it's Targuns, like you're just like losing to every 2-cost spell in the entire game. So like even then, I just don't even know if it's if you're being able to push over. So all right, Peak Obelisk.
Peak Obelisk. Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense.
You're telling me mid-range Dravens are playing Obelisk in their deck? Oh, I love playing Aurora.
Yeah, you play going second, so you could turn 1 Draven.
Oh yeah, I'm so scared of that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying you would be. I'm just saying that's
I get
that's
2
why they're doing it.
Obelisk games. Ooh,
Yeah.
baby.
You get 2 Obelisk
Wait,
games.
you're not playing Obelisk going first?
Not if I maybe know my opponent's playing it second. I don't know.
Well, I mean, if I'm a Draven player playing against Aurora, you know, shit, maybe. I don't know when I would play Obelisk. Kind of fun.
Do you not like going first with 4 runes? Is that not? No, I guess 2 Obelisk games would be better. Spreading it out.
Yeah, spreading out the Obelisk would definitely be better.
Though going first 4 runes cast Catalyst is hilarious.
Wait, is there a
It's
there a
not
break
though.
point?
It's not though
It
because
doesn't like actually accelerate
it's
you,
still
right? You're
turns
still
No,
into
it doesn't
Aurora.
accelerate the clock, but it is funny. That's the thing.
No, I mean, listen.
Okay, no, that's a fair point actually. That's a
I mean,
fair
for what
point.
it's worth, it lets you go turn 2 like Direwing, which
Yep.
is good.
What the fuck is a dire wing?
Dialing is
7
when you
mana
control
dragon.
a dragon. You it comes in
It
ready.
enters ready.
Yeah.
It's new Aurora tech.
It also it costs 0 power.
Yep. It's the new Mountain Drake.
It's Direwing. I don't want to call it new Mountain Drake. It's just
It's the new Mountain
Screeching
Drake that
Dragon.
joins
Dragon.
Mountain Drake in the deck.
Oh,
Yeah.
screeching
So
dragon.
essentially, you can go Direwing into Aurora, you can go Direwing into Mountain Drake, and you can like have other plays that aren't just Aurora. And then the cool part about him is you can do shovel mechanics, where you like throw a Direwing to the thing, trade out, and then equip the shovel to the Mountain Drake, go for 11, resummon, go for 7. That's very
God damn,
interesting.
it's broken.
Yeah, it's kind of like having like your own cascading gear in like a weird
Yeah.
way.
Why
This
is it,
Aurora deck goes
why is
crazy.
Why isn't everyone playing Aurora? It seems broken.
I think they're bad at the deck. They still play Treasure Trove and like backpacks and stuff. I don't know.
People are also saying it's dead because of gear destruction, but even if you get 1 summon off the Aurora, you're probably okay.
Yeah,
In a lot of cases.
I get a 10-10. You cast an Akshan and get a 2-2. I
Yeah.
cast challenge. I'm
Yeah.
shaking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
Well,
Aurora's
perfect
still
start here from the Miracle player, right? 2-drop Draven, Conquer.
Ooh, was
Deep.
that
You own it now?
the? I can't think what the spell's called.
It is. You're probably thinking of Against All Odds.
Yeah, Against All
we
Odds.
often are seeing that card and forgetting what it's called.
Yeah. So that's
Damn,
like
we're
plus-
just
that's
committing
plus 4
here,
for
huh?
2.
Is this the same game? Didn't I just watch this happen?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
Does he have a
this time
push
it's
or a
lot more
rebuke or
scary,
any
right? 'Cause
spell?
They have mana open.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I'm just making sure I'm not. I'm just making sure this wasn't a replay as well.
I think if I'm playing mid-range
pay a
Draven,
red
I'm
rune
pushing
yet
this
again?
every time. By the way, like you are not gonna beat me on the
Well,
stack
they have
here
3
with me
runes.
having 6 runes up.
They have 3 runes
Isn't
and I
the-
have 6. 6
Isn't
is
the
better than
issue
3.
you getting pushed? Like, it has nothing to do with winning the combat. Like, obviously you're going to win the combat.
I mean, wait. Do you think he doesn't have Ride the Wind here?
No,
Yeah, there's that.
Like if I'm
There's
pushing
that.
this right, if I'm pushing my Draven in right now, I probably have Ride the Wind.
It's just a very precarious way to go about the matchup as the Miracle player. It's very funny to me. Not that I think it's right or wrong. I don't play the deck enough to know, and I won't like go out on a limb and say. It's just, what is that card?
I think it's
Yeah,
a lot less
Against all
suspect.
odds.
Yeah.
So this is
the one that
plus
gives
4.
+2 for each opponent enemy there.
Holy, what a bozo.
It's not that I think. I think last game it was like really sus as hell. I think this game like it's a lot more justifiable, but yeah, no, I mean,
I just don't get it like from a macro strategy. Like I don't even know if it's the right or wrong decision in just in this moment, but like macro strategy wise, you have to want to delay the game as much as possible. Making my opponent even think about moving out around the battlefields and maybe trading with some scrappy 1/1s here and there.
Wait, is he
Surely
gonna
it's better for me.
He's gonna stack shot? Sorry, cold shot.
no,
not
we
stack
can't.
shot.
We can't call shot here. We lose the game on the spot.
If we called shot
Yeah.
and win this combat, we still lose the game.
yeah, it
Yeah.
just doesn't work.
Well, to be
Yeah.
fair, if we
Like-
do nothing, we also lose the game. So I guess there's
Yeah.
that.
No, I mean we just say, damn, yeah, I didn't have the push.
Yeah,
Unlucky.
this was done without the push in hand. This was saying you won't run in here with 6 runes up as mid-range Draven. It's like fundamental disrespect for what this mirror is, right? Like,
I mean,
You
there's a
don't have to
world
give
where
this up.
maybe this guy has played it 50, 70 million times and just knows he's so unfavored that he has to make plays like that. I like legitimately don't know.
he
I
did have
mean,
the right to win, by the way. It
so-
wasn't hand.
Oh, he's just a gamer.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, I don't know.
Just for the remembering, the 8-2-0, the 2s are draws, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the one in the center
they
is
could, they
draws.
could be IDs
Yeah.
for what it's worth, but yeah. But yes, the last number is a draw.
Okay, you're giving him the benefit of the doubt.
Well, I mean, the Miracle player has not a single draw, so
No, the Miracle player has 2 draws.
it's this dirty.
The Miracle player has 2
Yeah,
draws.
the middle one is draws.
Oh, I'm American. Okay.
Get ready to learn Chinese, buddy.
Never mind. What a,
Congratulations.
what a miserable. No, I'm kidding.
It is funny that if we decide, we could just put this Ross on bottom, and then there's 3 Rosses in a row. That's pretty fucking funny.
Oh, did they both get seen on the
Yeah,
first
yeah,
Helix?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty rough.
So 3
Well,
Rosses
maybe
to the
there's a-
bottom.
There might have been a called shot in between, or not called shot.
No, I
A
think it-
stack deck in between.
Wasn't it not Rasa seal, and he picked the seal?
Yeah, that was definitely one of them.
Yeah, it was Rasa Seal was like one of those cards. That was the second stack deck that he cast. So
And
that's
there's
one
the fighter
Rasa.
flight we were looking for on Lucker Dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is, if he repeated cold shot, he would have found it?
No.
I don't think he would have.
He wouldn't have because he saw 3 cards off the stack deck. He cast to go to 1.
Oh, true.
So he would have been. I mean, unless that. No, because he drew for turn yet. No, it
1,
literally
2,
wasn't in the top
3.
4.
So this is storm count 4,
Sure.
which means
Yep.
we do
Good
get
shot,
to start
man.
jamming 1 mana Rams now, which is exciting.
Was this guy
Is
like a
it-
Call
master?
shot's good for next turn.
Was this guy like a Masters player or a gold player? Where's this guy on the left side?
Left is gold, I think, and then right is unranked. So this is this guy's first event, and he made top 8. Or well, like,
Tracks.
I mean, maybe he's played events and not. I don't know exactly how the like unranked to then getting a rank is done, but yeah.
Yeah, he's
we-
probably he's still calibrating.
Double Rams pretty good.
Damn.
The nice thing
With
is
seven-
because we won the die roll, like we popped off early enough that it's still relevant, right? Like opponents going to what, like 3 points? It's like the Aurora thing, right? Where you kind of, if you can pop off before they do their thing, then
Double Bryn here in hand.
Yeah, I just wish we had a Draven on our board and our opponent still had 2 points.
We were 7 shorts from a bingo, by the way.
Oh yes, I mean,
20 Maya.
all it needed was 2 Rosses on this turn, or Ross Nocturne, that kind of stuff. Not hard to reach the 20 might if on a lot of these pop off turns from this deck.
yeah. This player has seemed to like consistently prioritize more value and more cycling as opposed to interaction. Like we passed over fighter flights and rebukes in favor of like Ezreal's and such.
This player
Oh.
has prioritized pissing you off, that's for sure.
Is that right? I'm not saying that. I'm not saying it's right either way. I'm just saying that that's like a decision that they're making consciously, and it's interesting to look at it through that lens, and then evaluate it and decide if it's good or not.
Yeah. I mean, really, just the most confusing thing has been the persistent like
Mind Splitter.
taking of those combats early on, right? Like that, it has just been kind of perplexing. 2 games in a row, just getting juiced by the first combat.
Our hand is like gas here, honestly. Like
Yeah,
all 4 of these cards are really good.
But also, Mind Splitter has looked so good in all these matchups.
for sure.
Decks that play Mind Splitter are so good. I gotta do that.
Yeah, players that play Mind Splitter so good and handsome and strong, very impressive. Very humble.
Bad shoulder.
They all have bad shoulders.
Yeah, but it's always looked good for this mid-range guy. He like barely pays for it half the time because he gets like some gold from some other stuff. And he just rips the best card out of your hand, and your opponent's just like still kind of waiting to pop off, even though he did a mini pop off with Ram for what it's worth.
Yeah, and there's a lot of like you have to eat. I mean, shit, you have to eat like a call shot here. I think is that call shot?
You can't let them just double cold shot next turn.
They're gonna get so many cards.
Legit, I'll have this Rasa, I'll have the other battering ram, I'll have.
Well, the rosters are 72 cards deep, but yeah. Other than that, sounds likely.
I mean, double cold shot gets you closer. Yeah.
Double cold shot plus Ezreal plus like the other cold shot that you somehow pull.
There's also like, if we dig into like a shovel next turn, like opponent is tapped out. There's worlds where we just like wipe this board. Like, yeah, I think you have to rip a call shot here.
I mean, right now you have 13 might on board into 11. Now, of course, that trade is not like super amazing to go take to clear out this obelisk, but
there's like bushwhack shovel turns that like absolutely destroys us. And we have quite a bit of mana. Like we're untapping with what, 7 or 8 next turn?
It's 7, yeah.
Yeah, like we have a lot of good stuff. I think forcing opponents one of their plays to be the Ezreal is like pretty important. I think discarding the Ezreal is not the way to go. And we'll see.
Brick's heap, I guess.
Yeah, but I mean, we're choosing our cards at this point, right?
Yeah. No, it's yeah.
Do the heaps even get like trimmed or sided down when you don't play zone? I know you still have Ezreal.
It depends. Often no. Kind of depends on your version.
You get the frog too. Yeah. You get the frog too, so it makes sense.
I do like that our deck is forcing us to eat our veggies here by giving us rebukes off the top.
Yeah, I mean, if you had the Ezreal, then you just take heap and you draw 3 here, right? But
So the line there.
The push is good too.
He didn't take scrap heap. Would it have been an idea to scrap heap and then push the Ezreal into the zone warrens so you get another draw?
There's no warrens.
There's no zone warrens.
There's no zone.
Oh wait, I'm trolling. True.
Yeah.
Starguns. Like we have so much interaction. Like I think it's actually a really good position for the Miracle player. Well, I mean, I say that the Bryn Here's are going to make life really hard, but we're wiping the board this turn.
I'm just thinking, like, you could totally just still have a Draven on this board as well, right? Like,
yes.
like pretty reasonably, we could have a Draven.
In every game, we could have had a Draven.
Oh my god! If we had like, I don't even know, a Ram or a Rasa or Ezreal's fine. I mean, this is a gas.
Ooh,
so we've seen all his Ezreals.
Shovel is still the card I wanted to hit here.
Yeah. I think a shovel on this turn could make this game very unlosable, even being a little bit behind, because if we can clear most of the board, like generally these Bryns would represent 2 points each every turn that you cast them when you can untap with 10 plus might in play. But the fact that we're going to lose most of our might, these Bryns are going to look very anemic.
That's what we've talked about, right? The fucking the Bryn Here's requiring a lot of support, requiring a lot of backup, and you lose it all here.
I'm not confident that siding Bryn in against the like Miracle version is necessarily correct either. Because like yes, they have the interaction, but often they're doing it on their turn when they are like building these huge might boards and just killing you. You also just need to be bigger than
them for Bryn to matter, and you're very rarely bigger than them in a situation where like you need to be.
Yeah, it's all your other tricks that are good. In fact, the against all odds, honestly, phenomenal idea for this matchup. Because you're generally actually going into quite a few units. And you can get a lot of value from that card.
I think we're kind of priced into like Bushwhack Rasa. Ooh,
Okay.
okay.
Oh.
Interesting.
I mean, we get our draw off of it. It's not bad.
Yeah. Another ram.
Played what? 6
Yeah,
cards.
so we go like Bushwhack, Ram, Ezreal, maybe? Maybe it's just Ezreal first.
Yeah.
Well, if you're playing Bushwhack, it's not Ezreal first, right? I guess, well, unless you're finding Ross's, but I don't know if we're hitting their stack yet. I'm not putting the effort in to count it right now. Maybe I should practice it a little bit, but you know.
No, we're not
Mind
deep enough
Splitter. Mind Splitter. and
yeah, I know we're not
Miracle
there,
deck.
yeah.
Interesting. I don't know if that's a sideboard or a main board card. Putting Mind Splitter and Miracle seems very ambitious with the amount of power you generally go through.
Yeah.
Is that 10 cards in the discard?
You're not playing on curve often, but
Oh yeah, I mean, Mind Splitter's generally not even phenomenal on curve in most decks, but yeah, I just wonder when you do get to play. I guess it's a post pop-off thing.
If you found all your seals early as well, you sometimes just end up not having any rune
Right.
issues, and then it's not a big deal to cast it. Like,
so we
you may even
wipe
have
the
some late game
board.
turns where you're like Bushwhack, Splitter, Rasa, and then just completely murder them, but
Yeah,
I do like this. We wipe the board. We still have a bit of interaction. We've developed a fair bit. Like, we know we're probably going to be able to develop more might than our opponent, like, long term. So I kind of like that we just trade all that shit down, we draw our card, and, like, we've gone through enough of our deck that, like, truly we do know that there's a shovel in, like, top 5. Like, we're finding a shovel very soon.
Yeah, our deck's pretty deterministic at this point. Like, we just have to not die in 2 turns and just have backline might and not take another suspect combat step. But I
Especially
don't think
because-
there'll be many combat steps for the next 2 turns.
We have a Rasa in hand, and we know that we're drawing into 2 Rasas very soon. Like, we're not going to run out of might.
And then
does
the
he
other
have
off-
another fighter flight, by the way? Because he
Discarded
ditched
one.
one, and he has a rebuke, but I think rebuke is incredibly soft here if that's your plan to try and play for this Ezreal
Nice.
staying alive.
Did we pitch Fighter Flight to Ezreal?
We
Yes.
discarded it, yes.
Instead of one of the 2 rebukes?
I believe
Yeah.
so.
Holy
If I saw it
shit.
correctly, yeah. Because so while Fighter Flight is soft to Red the Wind, I do think that like Rebuke is soft to so many things, even just like accelerated Kaisa. Like there's just so much stuff that like Rebuke is getting beat by, and then going down 2 runes when you're already at 5 runes, I think is
Yeah, we can't rebuke. Like,
Not
we just lose the
ideal.
game if we rebuke you.
I mean, yeah,
like,
I would
our
just-
entire game plan just falls apart.
You can
Yeah,
just
I mean,
let this die. I mean, it's fine.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah, this was my worry. This gets beat just very
Oh,
easily. Like, yes,
God.
yes, the Draven comes back to hand, right? But then he can just accelerate Kaisa, draw 2 cards. He can play a unit and ride the wind. He still has the
I
ride
mean,
the wind as
surely
an
these
option.
plays have to be molded by this being an open deck list now that it's top 8. Is that true? Because like, it doesn't. I mean, that was just a hard bargain. That was to like a bajillion things. Like, yeah, very strange.
Yeah, it seems really, really all in. And like,
So
we're
that's-
winning a long-term value game. Like, is it really that bad? Even this Draven goes like what? Draven, hopeful. Like, even
Well,
if
this
it
is-
wasn't an accelerate unit, it still gets. I don't know.
And I just
Like-
draw 2.
We've mortgaged away our future. I don't love that.
Yep. Well, at least his Mind Splitter's never getting casted.
Yeah, no, true. He'll get discarded to the 3rd Ezreal. Don't
I
worry.
was gonna say, good discard fodder.
Shit. Wow. Yeah, oof.
As I say, we have Ride the Wind as well.
Yeah, I often like holding Ride the Wind, but honestly, in this
I'm
spot,
not
if you're just going to,
too sure about that one. I guess if
Yeah,
you
I
want
think
to
we're supposed to just
save it.
Develop more might. Like,
yeah,
Yeah, I would have much rather have like. I mean, I guess you can argue if you play a Noxious Hopeful, it's the same thing as wasting a card to save a Kaisa, but not really. I don't know.
I'm not sure. Like, the D ramp is the.
Yeah,
more
it's the
annoying
main
thing.
issue there for sure.
Oh my. Are we gonna? Do we have anything in hand to draw cards or no?
I don't
I
think
don't
so.
think so.
Okay.
Ezreal got taken away.
This is
still
just gonna have to be a
Bushwhack.
slow turn.
A rebuke.
I see what you're
We
saying,
got
yeah.
a fan.
We might have a fan.
So I think we just top decked a fan. So it's probably looking at like a hold to get value from the fan.
This turn looks so much better if we go like seal and then just slam a Mind Splitter. Like, I don't know, opponent has 10 cards in hand, but like knowing what they have, I think. Because next turn we can go like Bushwhack Rasa Rasa.
Are we hitting the
just
stack
kind of the cards
next turn?
we're putting in there, the cards we're putting in our deck and the play lines like we're going for. Like, if Mind Splitter is this bad because our opponent's gonna have a million cards, or because we're gonna constantly like tax ourselves, like why is it in our deck?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's for more established. Like, I don't know.
Usually, like when you're playing these type of decks, you have to have a very like specific macro strategy, and usually when you have one, you would have very specific play lines and cards you want to go into. And Mind Splitter, I agree, definitely plays into those things. But like between us throwing our Draven away very early and now throwing our runes away over the last 2 turns, I just wonder like what our defined macro strategy is for, other than put 5/5/5 and 6/6/6 on the board with all of our really good cheap cards. Like that one's fairly obvious, but surely not every game can run out like that. So
Are we still tanking on this Conquer?
Yeah, I don't know.
believe so.
I mean, if there's like another Red the Wind, I don't know that you wouldn't even do this.
Maybe there's like
no,
a mana breakpoint where they wanted to play the Axe. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I could see it. The de-ramping, probably not worth it. So it's one more turn. Are we even getting the Rasa stack though? That's the thing. There's no card draw in hand. So
we're hitting
It's
it soon.
unlikely, I think.
Like we're hitting it very
soon is great if the next card draws more cards, because there's no other draw right now, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if the Kaisa comes up, then there's worlds where like we could draw off of Draven Legend as well.
Sure.
So it's not like totally cooked in that regard. But,
They've got.
I mean, this is so much might, by the way. Double hopeful, double axe.
Are they just gonna Mind Splitter again?
It's triple. No, they should triple hopeful right here. Yes.
Yeah,
very
Mind
good.
Splitter is
It's
like
all 3?
way too passive.
Oh, sorry, it's Draven hopeful.
Draven
Excuse me.
hopeful. Yeah.
Best play possible here. We've won the game. We're at 6. We need 1 turn to win the game. Our
This doesn't
opponent
mean
cannot
we have
win
a
for
draw,
3 turns.
right? We have access to a draw off this Kaisa.
Yes.
Would it be
think
nice
we've
if we had
just-
2 more runes here?
Yeah. More units. But with the, I mean, I just feel like for this mid range, I don't even know how they lose.
Fizz Rasa?
This person cannot
Fizz?
win for 2 more turns now. 3 more turns,
can
excuse me.
Good.
You can fizz for
can play
draw.
Called Shot.
And then we can get the Rasas that. Did
Yeah.
he recycle all 3 Rasas? So we know.
There's 1 in hand still.
One in
I don't
hand,
know
and
if-
then 2 are
I don't
next
know
to
if-
each other, though. So called
Yeah.
shot has to, like, if you don't know your
yeah.
stack perfectly, called shot grabbing both of them in the same look is obviously quite bad.
We soon Vera?
I'm saying like, we even kill this Kaisa? Does like any of this like matter? I just mean
Yeah,
like if
so
we,
Bushwalk Rasa, right?
yeah, I guess that's like fine. My concern
Holy
is exactly.
Jesus.
Ooh,
Christ.
that is not the play.
This is scooping the game?
I
This
think they're
is
French, you
kind
know?
of-
I think.
This is kind of ungood. I was gonna say like even if this guy hits everything he's supposed to hit, I just feel like he gets outmighted because like the guy on the right cannot win for this turn. He can go to 5 at best, and then he can go to like 6, and then go to maybe 7, and then he doesn't win for at least 3 turns. I just feel like we outmight even this Rasa stack that's coming because we're gonna like develop once more, untap, have about 20 plus might on board with them like 2 axes and all the tricks and a burn here. I feel like even if we get to this Rasa stack, we're still nowhere close to winning. But
And
we're
I
gonna
think
find out.
ideally we'd be in a position when we're stacking these Rasas that like we'd have enough runes that we're also playing like, you know, the fight or flight that we pitched or something, or the rebuke that we wasted.
Yeah.
We're getting them off tempo enough to win the combat, to continue drawing tricks, and to then hold. It's like forcing them to double conk. Like I agree, they have a lot of might, but you know, it feels like
Also, notably, if you're one, like, it looks like these guys are having more fun than any pair of people
Yeah.
playing together has ever had. I'm looking at their names. It's very common that you'll put the name of your store at the start of your name. Some of the stores are sponsoring players too. The first 2
Sure.
characters are the exact same for both these players.
Right.
And I think it's very likely that they both play at the same shop. and they probably know each other quite a bit. And
yeah, this is what I expected to happen. Just overloading might. I mean, there's a world where he can go for this hold. I don't even think he needs to do that. I think you can just overload might, play edge, play axes, play another unit if you can.
Roll this stuff down. Huh?
Yeah, you just cascade it if you even need to, which I think you do. Yeah, you cascade it to the Draven and then you go.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I mean, once again, Miracle Draven, like on stream, I think it's a really hard deck. As well, say. I think I think you're 100% right here that you do need like a macro game plan of like how you're going to play the matchup, how you're trying to play your deck, how you're trying to build your deck. It feels like wasn't quite there this time.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's at this point it's somewhere between I don't know 10 to like 13 rounds of games over the last 2 days plus all your practice. You're already 97 hours into day 2 with all the breaks we've had. So, there's definitely a bit of fatigue and stuff. And as Cass mentioned, that maybe you're just friendly and happy to be there at that point. But it definitely just did not seem like, not only were the plays, in my opinion, somewhat loose with the Draven, and I think we can all kind of agree in both games 1 and 2 it was weird. I just don't see how they like lead you down a path of like, this is what my deck is trying to do. Because we kind of saw what Miracle could do that previous turn and the one before it. Obviously wasn't enough in that game, and maybe that's just how the matchup plays.